Mic check 1 2 1 2.
My sweet waifu.
Is that you? Mic check. Mic check. Waifu. King Teliano, is that you?
First of all, I'm about to talk mad crap today.
Oh, here we go. He already starting.
What's up, brother, man? How you doing?
I'm well, bro. How you?
You know, I'm always good. I'm excited to do this right now.
Yeah, this is.
I'm excited and not excited.
Yo, this is going to be a fun-filled show for y'all today. Welcome to episode 39 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, I'm at Polow Born Fly on all social media, and I'm joined by my brother at King Teliano on all social media. As always, Mic Check Waifu was brought to you by Lube Complex. Go to lubecomplex.com. Use that offer code Waifu to save. And again, remember, Lube Complex will be at FanimeCon. So keep that in mind. It's in Los Angeles. It's from, I believe, May 23rd to the 25th. I might have to double check that, but I believe that's correct. So check them out. Again, tell them Mic Check Waifu sent you. If you going, we'll appreciate that. And the show is also brought to you by our Patreon producer. Shout out to our Patreon producer, D Prince, Monique Williams, and Connor for supporting the show. We appreciate y'all. D Prince gave us our main topic for today, so I can't wait to talk about that. But before we do that, we got some anime to talk about. And on the other half of the show, right after the break, we're going to review Clannad and then talk My Hero as always. So we got a lot to look forward to this episode. Before we actually start the anime talk, though, I do want to give special shout out to Legal Overdose because he gave us a really dope Afterstory podcast that we released to everyone on the podcast feed. So if you're listening to Mic Check Waifu right now, make sure you check out the Afterstory 22 featuring Legal Overdose. 2-piece. It's awesome. It's incredible. It's a lot of good laughs in that episode. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Check that episode out. It's on that podcast feed. It's on the same podcast feed you're listening to this right now. So go check that episode out. We had a lot of fun with it for sure.
That episode was so much fun. We appreciate it.
Crazy good. Crazy
he just brought
good.
the right energy, bro. Yep. That's all it is.
Yep, it was perfect. So yeah, check that episode out. It was a lot of fun. And when y'all do tweet at us and let us know what y'all thought about it. Also, I'm ready to get this thing started. But first, I want to say, talk your shit, bro. Talk your shit.
All right. We're going to start off with how I feel about ID Invaded versus Darwin's Game. So we know Polow and I have been battling about ID Invaded and Darwin's Game. I just want to say, Darwin's Game had the second hardest episode of the anime season so far. And the only reason it's the second hardest episode of the season is because Fate Grand Order had the hardest fucking episode of the season. But let's talk about Darwin's Game. Polow, I take back everything I said. That shit was fire, bro.
That shit is mad fire, bro.
Oh, my God. Yo, like, that shit was great. I didn't expect the number one clan or number one fighter to pop up.
Me either.
I didn't expect them to pop off like that. Like, they had their whole clan in there, like, hey, let's put in some work. Now she want to have kids by the guy. And
dude.
That episode was great. I will say, in terms of, like, how, like, absolute, like, I was, like, yo, that episode got me hyped. It was one of the hypest episodes of the anime season. It was hyper than almost every episode of My Hero this season.
Yeah, bro.
And the craziest thing was that, like, I will say I still enjoyed ID Invaded's episode more, personally. But I have to give it to Darwin's Game.
So you still enjoy ID Invaded more?
Yes, I enjoyed ID Invaded more because I think ID Invaded is more what I like. I'm just going to say that. But Darwin's Game, if I had to be objective, like, that shit got me hyped. It was a better episode. Fate Grand Order had a better episode than Darwin's Game and ID Invaded, but
I believe that, and I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked about that. Fate is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about, like, just action based though. I'm talking about, like, overall, like, how the plot changed entirely in Fate Grand Order.
Oh,
like,
okay.
the storyline was just better too. But I just think Darwin's game. It did. I have to take back what I said. It beat ID Invaded for sure this week, and actually that episode was like, I kind of feel like what I had been waiting for from Darwin's game.
Dude, how many episodes ago did I tell you the exact fucking plot of ID Invaded? Like how many episodes? Because I called that shit. Like it was probably like 3 episodes ago. Yeah, 3 episodes ago, I called that shit. The moment I saw the way it was playing out, I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. Spoiler alert for ID Invaded. So if you haven't finished watching ID Invaded, fast forward about 45 seconds. But I called it. I knew it was gonna be old dude because everything pointed to him being the guy from Jump Street. From the moment they put it on a young dude, I'm like, okay, yeah, well now I know who John Walker is. And it was like, it was just whatever storyline they chose to lead us to John Walker, which was super good though. It's not like a bad show. The story they chose to lead us up to John Walker was good. It was great. Yeah. But again, ID Invaded to me, I feel is way more predictable than Darwin's game because I have no fucking clue what's going to happen in Darwin's game.
I have to agree at this point right now, right? Yeah. Like ID Invaded to me, like I don't know what's gonna happen next necessarily because there's a lot of like plot we don't understand. Like why is dude doing this? Like what is the actual purpose of him doing this? Like why is he creating murder? So there's still questions that we want answered, right? Yeah. But
I can give you a prediction on that too.
I mean, yeah. Because like you said, I think you already predicted it, that it's more like a psychopath idea where they're using this to kind of try and figure out the future. Like, how do we predict murderers and stuff like that? How do we figure that out? Yep. Which could be 100% true. If that's the case, then, I mean, Polow already got this figured out 100%. And we don't even need to watch any more ID Invaded. But like I said, ID Invaded, I do enjoy more than Darwin's game. Man. But Darwin's game has had... That episode was superior to like the last 3 episodes of ID Invaded for sure. Straight up. Like that was everything I had been waiting for in Darwin's game. That gave me the initial hype that I had when Darwin's game released. Mm-hmm. Like I was like, Darwin's game is fire. That's number 1. That's gonna be number 1 anime of the season, and it's good.
It's something about the way it's fucking laid out, man. It's because you think you understand Darwin's game, because I thought I understand it too, just like you did. Like I thought I understood what's going on in Darwin's game until Darwin's game come in with this whole crazy spin. I was expecting them to get away from her and that be the end of it. She was gonna pop up every now and again. I was not expecting her to join the fucking clan. They are assembling the Avengers of this Darwin's game shit, dog.
Well, I also love the idea that she was like, yo, what he said was that if you're going to betray us, I need you to like kill me first. Like I need to be the first that you betray because the rest of my clan needs to be safe. Right. And it's like, it's kind of like that safety net, you know,
and in her reaction.
Like, I think she's actually legitimately interested in him and actually wants something more to do with him.
Like she said, she's trying to carry her family's legacy, bro.
And she want to make sure he's the one to do it. And I thought that was super cool. So we actually got like some waifu interest here with like 2 different waifus fighting over our main character.
And I love it. I'm here for it, bro. I'm here for it. Dude, it's so good, man. I get excited every time. Like I said on Twitter, I said this on Twitter, but ID Invaded is great, man. It's a great fucking detective show. Like, for real, like seriously, one of the great detective shows out right now. But it definitely solidified 3rd place because I feel like I figured this shit out like 4 or 5 episodes ago, and I told Tell about it like 3 episodes ago. The podcast, I'm like, it's kind of like predictable.
Here's the only reason I won't put ID Invaded in 3rd place, because I'm a little stuck between Inspector and ID Invaded. Inspector, if they had done the pacing better for this episode, right? Mm-hmm. Because the last 2 episodes, we agreed that the last 2 episodes of Inspector were slow. Mm-hmm. If Inspector had done the pacing for this, like instead of drawing this out as long as they did, because I thoroughly enjoyed the understanding of like how they're going with this episode and how they want to kind of like give us the idea that they're about to solve this mystery and make things work properly, right? I loved that, but the issue is that now we're carrying on into a whole other episode when you could have finished this off already, you know?
2 episodes ago.
Yeah, and That's the only issue with the Inspector episode right now is that like the pacing, it seems like it could have been really good and they slowed it down a little bit too much. Like they could have just sped it up a slight bit more and it would have felt better.
And to be honest, I still feel Inspector for me is second, like for sure. Cause cause when they get to the battle, basically the battle of minds, I guess, if you will, it sit with me, man. It sit with me so well, bro.
Yeah. I have to say, like how I said with ID and Beta, I enjoy ID and Beta more than Darwin's game. I actually enjoyed Inspector more than I enjoyed ID and Beta. Like I was more hyped and I was more enthused and agreed more with Inspector as an actual like series. But if I had to be objective, I think that episode was just a little too slow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Whew, man, my interest is peaked in both ID Invaded, Darwin's Game, and Inspector. I do got a random side animated I threw into my week this week that I wanted to discuss a little bit. Is I started Mob Psycho 2.
And I'm already like on there. So what do you think?
It's fucking good, man. I got to episode 8. No, I don't know how these episodes are laid out because it's basically part 2 of season 1, but it's called Mob Psycho 2. So the continuation continues from 18, I guess. If you look at it like a 24 episode series, I'm on 18, and dude, I'm loving this character progression, just like you said I would way back when after I watched Mob Psycho 1. Mob Psycho 2 is like the art. And Mob Psycho 2 is so much better than Mob Psycho 1. It feels weird. Like it feels like a completely different show.
It looks the same, but it doesn't.
Yes. It's so weird. It looks the exact same, but it looks like they got a few more dollars put into it.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Which is very possibly the scenario, you know?
Yeah.
Mob Psycho, that's a whole nother beast, bro. I thoroughly enjoy Mob Psycho, and I'm glad you watched it. We should talk about that. That'd probably be the next one we rate.
Yeah.
If you want to.
We totally can. Because, like, dude, this fucking, the character growth in this show. Oh, my God. I was not expecting it to go from what it was in season 1, because season 1 was mad decent. Just decent, you know? But this 2 already, I don't know how many episodes, maybe 5 episodes technically. It's just from my understanding, like, yo, this guy is taking advantage of me, to Reagan being like, I'm kind of taking advantage of him. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, to him recognizing like he's being this asshole. And like when they split apart, man, this shit is just good, man. It's good. I don't even want to see the fights, because I know when the fights actually start, it's going to be that crazy ass camera spin bullshit that they always do in this show. But like the storytelling alone is enough for me right now with Mob Psycho 2 that I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
That's
expeditiously.
That's not even the same thing.
I know. What the fuck? Well, how did I even throw that in there?
Hey, T.I., if you want to sponsor us, we might we'll talk about anime on your show expeditiously.
Yo, shout out to Blaname. They did an episode with they call him J Rock the Pastor on Blaname podcast, but he's all over Twitter and anti-Twitter. He's super hilarious. Give him a follow. He sounds just like T.I., dude. Just like him, and that's why I got that from, I guess, because he sounded like he should be talking about anime and saying expeditiously after everything. It's hilarious, man. J Rock is a funny dude to follow on Twitter for sure. But yeah,
now,
Mob 2 is great.
The anime I want to talk about is the anime I said that had the best episode this week.
Yeah,
and of the season is Fate Granddaughter. You know, I've been watching Fate Granddaughter. I don't know if you fell off the train, if you stopped watching or whatever.
So I didn't fall off the train. I caught up to the episodes that was like dubbed, and then I'm like, fuck.
You watched it dubbed, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta wait till it's done. So I said I'm gonna wait till it's done, but it's so good. It's so good for me, even where I stopped.
This episode had so many twists and turns. It brought back so many emotions. Like, there was this, honestly, like, this episode felt like it deserved a movie for this one episode. Ooh. Like, it was just so much. And the animation was on point. Like, I don't think, like, this was the second most emotional moment of the week for me after finishing Clannad.
Oh shit, that's dope.
Like, it just felt like, and I'm not gonna say it was like sad or nothing like that. Right. It's just it was so much going on that it made me feel things, you know, like it was inspired and like sad and like I'm like willing to take a risk, all of it. Like Fate Grand Order just has those moments with like the battle with Tiamat. Like there's just too much to not like feel something for it, and I can't wait till it's over because I need to stop feeling all this. Like this is just too much. That episode was entirely too good for everything I've been dealing with.
So was it done?
Nah, there's still more to come. I think that was like episode, like, well, it's not even episode 18 or nothing like that, I don't think yet.
Oh shit. Okay. So I know the dub is at 17, episode 17 right now.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Hold on, let me see what episode that was, because it still has plenty of time to go, I think. Mm-hmm. It might have been episode, but there's still like, I feel like there's gonna be like,
it's probably 19 because I believe the dub's just 2 episodes behind the subs.
Yeah, I'm not mistaken. It was like, I think I might have to agree with that. Because Fate Grand Order
is probably a cool 24 if I had to guess.
Yeah. No, I don't need a special. I don't need the movie. There we go. Yeah, that was episode 21.
Okay. So 3 episodes back. Okay. Yeah, man, I can't wait to pick that back up again. I'm like, I gotta wait till it's done because it kept leaving me like wanting more. And I knew when I got to the episode where I was caught up, I'm like, fuck. I gotta wait.
You know, I gotta agree with that. It just, for real, like, if I had 3 more episodes to watch, we wouldn't even be like doing this podcast right now. We gotta wait a minute. Like, this has to be finished. Fate Grand Order, honestly, like, in terms of like seasons for Fate, this would probably be like my second favorite Fate. You know, not including movies or anything like that. But this would definitely be eligible of being like as good as like Fate Zero or Fate Stay Night.
Like I always say, always separate movies from this like the TV series because those are completely different beasts, and those fucking Fate movies belong in a league of their own. Like they're god tier, pun intended. You know what I'm saying? It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. All right, so let's get into this topic of the show. Tots, if you will. So, topic of the show today was brought to you by D Prince, one of our Patreon producers, aka at Kush by That Bush. Thank you so much for supporting us, brother. And you just had a birthday, so happy belated birthday!
Happy birthday, bro!
You've been supporting us for a while now, man. We can't thank you enough. We may have to do something special for you, man. We appreciate you so very much. Kush by That Bush. He gave us the topic of what do you think is, or I'm going to reword it. What is your favorite anime rivalries or rivals? So, Tell said he had something for me on the Afterstory. If you guys listen to that free episode, it's a bonus episode on this podcast feed. Check it out. Tell, you said you had something juicy for me. What was that?
The sisters were my favorite animal, like rivalry in
the sisters.
Yeah, Ryu and Q, or Ryu, Ryu and Q. The sisters with the purple hair. They were my favorite, like, rivalry. I don't even
know what that is. What are you?
An Afterstory?
Oh, you talking about in Clannad?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
They had, to me, like, because like the one sister was like, yo, I like him.
You just blew my mind, bro.
I don't want to pursue him. The other sister's like, I like him, but I don't want to like take him from my sister. And they like the whole time, like it seemed like the entire series they battling for it.
Oh my god!
I just threw that out there. That's not going to actually be on my list, but that's what I wanted to say because like to me it felt like impossible to not bring up after this week.
Yeah, you just blew my fucking mind because it didn't even cross, dog. It didn't even cross. Wow, what a great one. You should add that to the list. What the fuck?
they was battling for they dude, and you know we know how that turned out.
That's wild because they was both crushing on him, but the older sister tried to get it for the younger sister because she always looked out for her younger sister. Oh my god!
No matter how much she wanted them.
Yeah, you just blew my mind with that one. I didn't even fucking think about that because
now
so much other shit happened in Clannad that you. It's hard.
Now on top of that, I have a list of 3. I don't know how much Polow got, and then I got
3 too. Oh, thank you.
I have an honorable mentions list too.
Let's go.
Just some honorable mentions. I'll throw the honorable. You want to throw the honorable mentions out after we get to our first? Before we get to our first.
Yes, sir.
All right. So number 3 on my list. You want me to start, or you want to go first?
You can start.
All right. So number 3 of my personal favorite anime rivalries are Ippo from Hajime no Ippo, and then you have Takeshi / Ichiro Murata or Miyato. So basically, those are Hajime no Ippo is a boxing anime.
Right.
Takeshi is a boxer from the Kanto region who was like, they called him Rocky, and he was like a crowd favorite. And when he lost the fight against Ippo, his entire town cried. It was honestly like ridiculous. Like I really love like Takeshi or Takeshi. Not Takashi. We don't fuck with Takashi 6ix9ine. Takeshi. I really love Takeshi though because of what he represented. He's just like one of those people who just worked super hard and was super like passionate, right? Like people who just like are naturally good at things is one thing. Like we like those guys, but they're not as interesting as the guy who just actually works super hard and he's super passionate and loves the people he's with. Like one of the things that made me love his rivalry was that like the kids that he was fighting for, he wanted to win in the fight so he can win this money so he can buy them a PlayStation.
Damn.
And he lost the fight, obviously.
Yep.
So they said, look, next time you can't lose so you can win us that PlayStation, because the kids understand how tough that rivalry was from. They care way less about that game station, the PlayStation, than they did when they saw him get knocked out. You know, they was like, yo, he lost. And like they shed tears for it because the game didn't matter as much because they never thought he would ever lose from how like, you know, that relationship. And then Miyata is almost like that Sasuke versus Naruto. Ippo, he was never a fighter. He was getting bullied on in high school. In his first fight, he fights against Miyata, who was trained by his father, who's a professional boxer. And he gets one good punch off on Miyata and basically shakes him up so bad that his legs start shaking. He almost gets knocked down. Miyata knocks him out, but it's still like, you know, it's that initial rivalry. And that's the rivalry that drives the entire series that makes Hajime no Ippo what it is.
I keep hearing so many good things about Hajime no Ippo. Between you and Javon, man, so many good things about Hajime no Ippo. But it's sports.
Just gotta watch it.
It's sports.
Just gotta watch all 230 episodes.
I'm cool. So my third rivalry, you mentioned Naruto. I'm not, and it's not what you're gonna expect. I have to say was probably one of the best filler arcs in the show out of the 50% fillers.
Right.
Harashima Senju and Madara Uchiha was the best rivalry probably in Naruto to me, period. It was so good. So fucking good, man. And that backstory between those two being the best of friends and it turning into what it turned into and the way they battle like Naruto and Sasuke did, but obviously a lot more fierce. Even though that last battle between those two was fucking fierce. But
yeah, like,
come on, man. Madara is one of my favorite antagonists ever.
And then Madara might just be the GOAT villain.
Yo, he just might be the GOAT villain. After what he did in that the Ninja War arc when he came back to like basically the whole army. He's dope, man. He's one of my favorites. And probably one of my favorite dubbed voiced villains too. It fit him so well, man. Hey, have you ever heard it? You've heard it, right?
I've never heard his voice in English.
Dude, bro. Pull it up, man. During the break, you got to pull it up and give it a listen. It's so fucking...
He probably got an evil, deep voice.
Yes, man. It's so fucking daunting, dude. It's nerve-wracking how intense it is. So that, I mean, obviously, for obvious reason, those two, how good they were as far as like how close they were as friends and what it turned into and the way they fought, I think probably one of my favorite rivalries, for sure. For sure.
Okay.
What's your number 2, bro?
My number 2 is from Fate Grand Order, and it's Gilgamesh and Kingu.
Yeah.
Just because like the actual like story and lore behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Gilgamesh is a half human, half god. Kingu is basically a being born of like mud by deities who created him. And he is the only one, like Gilgamesh has never considered himself able to be friends with anyone. And because he feels he's higher than the gods because he is human, because they depend on him to like maintain their stability in the heavens. But he's higher than the humans because he's 2 parts God. So it's like he is above the humans, and the humans can never reach his like level, right? Mm-hmm. And Gilgamesh has this like he's rightfully so. He feels like he's better than everything, in my opinion, right? And he has shown time and time again in every Fate series that why he is amazing. Even if he loses, he shows why he's amazing. But he fights against Kingu, and Kingu is the first person to actually come up head to head with him and actually not just be like completely overwhelmed, and is able to like stand his ground against Gilgamesh. And they become friends in their normal life.
Lore, yeah.
Yeah, in their normal life. In the series, his friend dies, and he comes back again as Kingu after Tiamat, brings him back.
Yeah. And
he is now essentially, they have this rivalry where it still kind of coalesces into this like different kind of relationship with them. But I feel passionate about it because like I don't think there's anything better than an actual friend you can be a rival with, right? Yep. Like someone you love and who you can actually like relate with, but like they're the reason that you keep pushing forward because that's your rival. You have to be able to maintain that kind of like growth and relationship with them, and that's why I really like that relationship with them.
That's like Madara, the one we just did. I just did. It's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a great
same
one.
Same exact thing, kind of.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a real good one because just from watching this great Grand Order, right?
Yeah, Fate Grand Order.
Yeah. Just from watching Grand Order, just a little bit I did see of that rivalry they had is deep, man. It goes deep, and you can see it in Gilgamesh's like whenever he sees him, you can like it's just.
Yeah, he's normally super quick to just dismiss everyone else, exactly. But like he'll hold his tongue for him.
Straight up, it's real. So mine's come from a slice of life, actually. One of my favorite slices of life. I don't like to talk about this one because I just want everybody to watch it. But it's from Domestic Girlfriend. It's between the sisters, obviously. It's between Ryu or Rui. I don't know how they say her name. It's either Ryu or Rui. And Hina Tachibana. Okay. So for those of you who are not familiar with Domestic Girlfriend, the synopsis is basically Natsuo Fuji. He's a 17-year-old high school student who has a crush on his teacher. He loves his teacher. He wants to be with his teacher. His teacher is a fresh, I think 18 or 19-year-old teacher. Like she just started her teaching career at this high school. And he's like, he's so in love with her. He only wants to be with her. And he finds out that she has a boyfriend. When he finds out that she has a boyfriend, he goes out with a group of his friends, and his group of friends bring their group of friends from a different high school, and they all kind of meet up and do karaoke. Now, he's like a former nerd type of dude, and like it's not great around public, terrible anxiety, kind of like your boy Polow, where he doesn't like to be in public that often. When he steps out of karaoke, one of the girls from the other school steps out with him out of the karaoke bar, and they talking and they're having a conversation. They're like, yeah, this seems like something you're not really into. And like, they kind of like mesh because they kind of feel the exact same way about doing public stuff with these friends. They don't really want to be there, but they're just there because, they're with their friends. They decide to leave the karaoke bar and go to the girl's house, Ryu's house. When Natsuo gets to Ryu's house, they end up having sex for the first time with each other because they feel like we're not going to have the ones we want, or we're never going to have sex, so we might as well just do it with each other. They decided to have sex with each other, and after he leaves her house, everything is back to normal. His life is back to normal. He don't nothing. He's just living his life. His father comes up to him and says, "Hey, guess what, son? I'm getting married. The girl I've been seeing, we're finally getting married." They get married and they move, like the wife move in with the father, and the wife brings her 2 kids. One of her kids is Hina Tachibana and Ryu Tachibana. Those 2 are sisters. The teacher and the young girl that he had sex with for the first time are sisters. And now they all live together. And that, that rivalry, I'm not saying anymore. That's all in the first episode, by the way. First episode. So, yeah. So you can only imagine what this anime series is about. That rivalry between those 2 sisters is non-existent at first. It just goes into something that's so wild, so many twists and turns. It's like a episode of Days of Our Lives that are just like they trying to kill somebody off of Days of Our Lives or something like that. It's insane. The story is phenomenal. I really want to pick up the manga after season 1 because I don't think it's going to get a season 2. But gosh, it's phenomenal. This probably should have been my number 1 because that rivalry is intense.
As an avid manga reader, I would have to say, brother, you should pick it up.
I should probably pick that up.
Pick that manga up, my guy. So I'm gonna go into the honorable mentions. Did you have any you want to mention before I go into honorable mentions?
I want to, because we talked about the show, because at one point we were going to try to rewatch it for the show, like earlier on in our episodes. Mm-hmm. The show is terrible. We tried it; it's not good. But I gotta mention Inuyasha and Shishomaru. That rivalry between those 2. You got Shishomaru, who is just a fucking drip senior, super cool headed, like chill dude, and you got his little brother Inuyasha, and their beef goes back so many episodes of Inuyasha that like you can't ignore it. So that's definitely one of my honorable mentions. Like those 2, it's wild.
All right. So I'm gonna say my honorable mentions, and I'm gonna say a couple from the Facebook group. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
And actually, some of these people have some of the same ones I have. But I'm gonna start off with Ash and Gary. They are my favorite for a while growing up. But Ash and Gary from Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Then you got Spike and Vicious, which come on, and I mean Sanji and Zoro from One Piece. Polow, you agree with that one too much?
I don't even know who that is. I know who Zoro is, but I don't know who the other one is.
Naruto and Sasuke, which and then Goku and Vegeta as honorable mentions. Like I said, these are just honorable mentions. They're not necessarily my favorite, but they are some of the favorites. And you even got Bash the Stampede and Knives as rivals too. So there's some great anime rivals out there. So, when you listen to this, you can share your anime rivals with us. Just let us know what you think. But here's some from the Facebook group.
Let's go.
My boy Alan Guth Pancakes on YouTube said, number 1 in my eyes is a tie. He says Amuro and Char from Mobile Suit Gundam fought for an entire decade.
Damn.
What kind of rival you got to be to fight like those hands for an entire 10 years? And then Kazuma and Rio from Psycred or Psycryed, S-Cryed, whatever. Yeah. I don't know how exactly I say it. They fought the entire show. And then Brandon Heat versus Bungie and Gungrave fought for the whole season. Yeah. And then he said Shizuo and Izaya from Durarara, because, with them in Durarara, they was on site. Every time they saw each other, it was he gonna pull his knife and he gonna throw some random thing off the street. And then
that's funny.
Right. Kazuki Mito versus Papillion, and that's Buso Renkin. I actually don't know that one. But then Christopher Goodwin says Goku and Vegeta, Ash and Gary, Amuro Ray and Char, Yugi and Yugimoto and Seto Kaiba, and then he said Tom and Jerry. Because we know it's on site when Tom and Jerry pop up.
Yeah, right.
Isaiah Pika said the Roadrunner and the Wile E. Coyote, and then Philip J. Woodward. He says his favorite rivalry is Light and L from Death Note. He said he loved every intense battle of wit, intellect, and physicality they had. Enough even to sit sit through the entire horrible love action movie.
Mm-hmm. He made
best
live action.
Probably, yeah. Best probably the silly answer of Goku and Vegeta is such a long standing series with so much history, and to this day they still haven't lost that spark. It was love at first fight, which is 100% true.
Yeah.
And then my boy Joe, he didn't actually give us one. He said, my favorite rivalries are when characters are competing with themselves and overcoming their own demons, which
that's a great
is epic until you become Black Clover and your demons are just yourself, and your whole series is trash when it's animated.
Okay. I'm gonna go with I like Philip J. Woodward's a lot.
For sure.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna just tell you right now that was my number one until I saw Philip J. Woodward's, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna bring something different.
What you got?
So my number one is between these two. You may not never know nothing about it, but that's okay. It's initial D. It's Takumi, and I had to look up their names because I did not remember their names at all. Takumi and Keisuke. These two, oh my God, they throw down on the mountains, drifting down those mountains, dude. It's insane. It's some of the best like animated racing ever. Like, it's just incredible. Like, between those two, and even when Takumi like dogs him essentially, because obviously he's the main character, there's still so much heat between the two of them that like you can't do nothing but like step back and just let them fight. It's such a heated rivalry that I just love it so much. I really want to go back and watch Initial D. It's just so many episodes of it that I can't find the time to do that. It's just way too many episodes of Initial D, but it's so good. It's so good. It's Tokyo Drift, the anime, man. If y'all haven't seen it, watch it. Those two are great. I love it.
I'll probably give it a go. I don't know.
It's hard too because it's old as hell.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about it being old. It's just got to be good.
It's so good. It's so good.
So, my number one, which I just feel like I don't even know if I can bring up an anime rivalry without saying how good this one is, but it's Mugen and Jin.
Oh,
Mugen and Jin.
Fuck.
Samurai Champloo. I just love everything they have, bro. Like, to the last episode, like, they had respect for each other, but they was like, yo, I respect you so much that you have to be the one to kill me or we have to fight each other.
Yep.
Like, you don't know where their story is going to end between the two of them.
Yep. And
that series itself is so dope that, oh my God, Mugen and Jin, like Philip J. Woodward said, it was love at first fight. They saw each other, was like, yo, are you one of those badasses that these dudes keep talking about? And he like, nah, I just killed those badasses. And he like, oh, bet, let's fight. They throw hands, and it's like an even match. And you got
completely two different styles of fighting.
Right.
Oh, just clashing. It's so wonderful. Oh, and every time they fight, when that soundtrack play, when they fight, oh, dude.
And the thing is that, like, if you even think about, like, could you imagine this being animated now by, like, let's say Ufotable or even Studio Bones edited? Like, any studio editing this show except for Studio Period. Any studio editing this show would make this look so good that it's almost unbelievable.
I couldn't agree with that more.
We would just have to keep the same soundtrack. That's all I care about.
Straight up. No, they wouldn't change that. Are you crazy? No.
Because the dub for this was amazing.
Yep.
The sub for this is amazing. Yep. The soundtrack for this in general is amazing. Yep. The animation for this is amazing.
Yep.
We might as well just go ahead and rate this show.
Hey, we about to play something from Samurai Champloo this break.
Let's go.
Yeah, I just want to hear it. I just want to feel it. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Dude, that was a great one, man. Those are some great rivalries from the both of us, I would say.
I'd have to agree for sure. Those are some crazy ones. I got to check out Initial D now.
It's real good, man. It's real good. It's real good. All right. So before we go into break, we brought a new idea every episode, even though, we do this every episode. We kind of give recommendations every episode. But before the break, we decided to give a structured recommendation, and this is where we're dropping that at right here, right before we go to break. So for this week recommendation, did you start last week or was it me? I think I started last week, didn't I?
I think I might have. I don't know. I think I said what is it? Magnitude Tokyo 8.
Yeah, I don't remember who started, but we'll just go from here. I'm gonna start with oh shit. To be honest, I wasn't ready.
It's okay. I'll go.
Okay.
So I mentioned this one in the actual Facebook group, and wow, I'm looking at it on AnyList. It's actually rated pretty high too, which is kind of ridiculous. It's only 12 episodes, but it's the Unbreakable Machine Doll.
Oh yeah.
Basically, the entire anime is a tournament arc. What it's about is essentially there is our main character who he experienced some hardships growing up, and basically there's this machine doll. Like the world is like teenagers with machine dolls. It's kind of like the Blazer idea where everyone has like this sword or something. Mm-hmm. Each doll is meant to work with each specific person and based off your like spiritual energy and whatnot and how it works. The combat and everything, I actually think is really cool. The concept of the show is really cool. I think it's definitely worth watching, especially for 12 episodes. It's quick to like get through.
Digest, and
I think that once you get past like the first 2 episodes, you're like in there. And then there's a couple of scenes where like, so his specific doll, the Unbreakable Machine doll, is like a girl. And she's in love with him because that's what her machinery is. She's in love with him. But he has the only doll that's like actually got like the spirit and mind of an actual human being because it was made from a person.
Mm.
So I would say it's definitely worth checking out. And actually, I think I'm going to watch it because I enjoyed it. It just wasn't like I would not put it in my top 10, but it was definitely enjoyable to watch. There's some faults with it because it's just a 12 episode series, obviously, but it was definitely worth watching. Probably won't be a season 2 anytime soon. Just read the manga, I guess.
Okay, so mine's I got mine's now. It's so hard to talk about this one without like spoiling it, so I'm just gonna do my best not to say much about it. I know horror is a lot of people's least favorite genre. Okay, we talked about that on the Afterstory. Well, no, we didn't even get a chance to touch on that. Mm-mm. But we did a poll to say which one of you guys is what are you guys' least favorite genre and your favorite genre. A lot of people say horror. So
as their least favorite, yeah,
as their least favorite. So I'm going to suggest everyone here watch Another. Another is insane. It's another 12 episodes series. It's super short, but like talking about it will basically spoil it. So I'm not even going to don't even read the premise. Just turn on Another. You can watch it sub or dub. Okay, you can find it on Crunchyroll, or you can find it on. Can you find it on Funimation? I think it's just Crunchyroll. Yeah, because the Sentai Film works. So yeah, you can find it on Crunchyroll. It's a crazy turn of event series that is really, 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 really good. Now it's only got a 7.6 on AnyList. Don't believe it. Number 37 in popularity for its genre. It came out in winter 2012, so it's a little bit older, but it's a series that I gotta recommend because of its I guess you'd call it lore and like its crazy deep dark secrets. Watch it. It's pretty good. Another is pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good. So check that one out. All right, so let's roll into this break. We still got a lot of show left. Thank y'all so much for sticking around. But after we come back from break, we're going to give our Mic Check Waifu official rating of Clannad, the entire series. Clannad and Clannad Afterstory. Whew, that's going to be something. And then we're going to talk My Hero after the break. So I hope you guys are okay with this being a little bit longer episode, but it's juicy. So stick around. We'll be right back after this Samurai Champloo joint. See y'all soon.
What I feel about myself, I feel there's the unknown. There's things I don't know, and that's what I'm striving for. To say that I know would not be true because there are things I don't know, and I'm trying to find out what they are, and they come little by little.
And welcome back to my Check Waifu episode 39. A banger. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. We appreciate y'all so very much. That Samurai Champloo joint is again incredible. That soundtrack top of the line, top tier for sure. Go to teespring.com/stores/mycheckwaifu. We just cut down a lot of prices on our stuff. Still get some high quality merch and support the podcast. We appreciate y'all so much if y'all check that out for us. The link will be in the show notes. Check out our patreon.com/mycheckwaifu. Also in the show notes. Now it's time for us to rate Clannad. Okay. Now I will be objective as possible because yes, this is my number one anime of all time, but we do have a structured official Mic Check Waifu review scale for this particular reason. So the way the review scale works is we take 5 categories. We rate them individually as individual people. So I give my own individual rating of these 5 categories. Tell gives his individual rating of these 5 categories. Then we average that score out from each of us, and then we put them together, and that is the official Mic Check Waifu scale. So the 5 categories are, Tell, if you do me the honors.
Our categories are pacing, story, animation, sound design, and characters.
Yep. So we're going to give our individual rating of all of those based off of Clannad, the whole series as a whole. So Clannad Volume 1 and 2 and Afterstory. Okay. So first off, let's start off with our thoughts of the series as a whole. Tell, what did you think, bro?
Let's just talk about Clannad Volume 1 and 2 first.
Okay, let's do that.
My personal opinion is Clannad Volume 1 and 2 were superior than Clannad Afterstory. And I only say that because, like, I enjoyed it more.
Absolutely.
100%. I enjoyed Clannad Volume 1 and 2 entirely more. Clannad Afterstory, I fucking hated it in general. Now I don't mean like I hated it.
Oh, I know.
I mean I hated it. And like I will say the only issue I did have with Clannad Afterstory is that I feel like it could have been shorter because there's some things I didn't necessarily care about in Clannad Afterstory, but there were some things I cared too much about.
So for me, Clannad, again, it's my number one anime of all time. Okay. It's my number one anime of all time, and I'm combining both the Afterstory and Clannad. The reason why is because no anime has done storytelling quite as good as Clannad did. As much as we both hate Afterstory, but we don't hate Afterstory. At least I don't. I don't hate it. Like, it's not a bad show. You want to watch it. You want to keep watching it, but you just fucking hate it because it's so full of spoilers. Dreadful. It hurts.
I 100% hate it. And it's not because it's bad. It's because it literally is my worst nightmare.
It hurts so fucking bad, man. It crushes you. It literally, season 1 builds you up. It builds you up so well. Afterstory tears you the fuck down in every possible stretch of the imagination. Okay, so for those,
but it didn't start off like that, though.
No, you know,
like it did not start off like that.
It was the greatest.
Like, I thought the whole Kuko thing was going to be the saddest part of the entire series, because nothing else to me was sadder than the Kuko part in the beginning. Like, I was like, yo, that is horrible. And then we didn't even really get like a real resolution to, like, was Kuko dead? We didn't get a real resolution to that.
We did. Kuko or Fuko? You mean Fuko, right?
Fuko, yeah.
Okay.
She wasn't like, we didn't get a resolution of whether or not.
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then, but in Afterstory, so I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be transparent, because that's what we do here on Mic Check Waifu. That's why y'all come here. I cried.
yeah.
And I don't cry for shit. I don't cry for nothing, bro.
You're not like, a human if you don't cry for Clannad. You're just not human.
It's nothing that you can do to make me cry. But Clannad did it.
I know.
And, I walked into the room, and I'm gonna be real. Like, I was literally crying uncontrollably.
Yeah, yes, bro.
And Monique is like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No." And I tell her, like, she had the baby and she died, and I'm like sitting there crying, and she is like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "She had the baby and she died." And Monique's like, "In the anime?" And I'm like, "Yes." And she's like, "Oh no." And she starts hugging me. She's like, "I know that's your worst nightmare," because Monique and I have already had this talk. It's the only reason I'm like scared to have babies, like, because that is literally my biggest fear. Like, I don't want that to happen to my wife. I love my wife so much, and like that in my mind is like, that hit me because it felt like reality. Like, and she's like, "That's not our life." I'm like, "But it could happen."
Yep.
You know, like, it literally could happen. It happens every day to different women. And I'm just lucky enough to have a woman that it doesn't happen to. And I'm very happy about that. But it scares me so much. And then it just gets worse for my guy. Like,
so this, again, man, this storytelling is so good, man. The show is written so well, but so harsh at the same fucking time. So Clannad, volume 1 and volume 2, it literally builds up this beautiful story, these beautiful characters that you just come to actually love, that you come to care for, because they're just sweet. They're just sweet people, you know? Then you get into Afterstory, and it continues to build it up. Oh my God. Nagisa gets sick, and she missed an entire school year. And that hurts. That sucks, man, because you wanted her to graduate with everybody. You feel our main character pain. Like, I just want to be with her. Like, I just want to be with her as much as I possibly can. Like, I felt for him literally the entire show. I know you said at first, when you first started Clannad, the first 12 episodes, you didn't like our main character. I fucking loved our main character, dude, throughout the whole show. Because it was just so real for me, man. He grew up, had trouble with his father. Me too, you know. He struggled through high school. Like, he was the delinquent. Me too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of this shit are kind of related to, kind of like closely, and I just felt every last bit of it, man. Maybe we should just get to the fucking rating, but like, I do want to talk about how Naziga, and I forgot, I fucked up her name. Nagisa had the baby and died. Okay. Then, as Tell said, it continued to get worse because his daughter, come to find out, had the same fucking sickness. Right as he begins to understand like how fucked up he was being towards her, which, like, you think to yourself, okay, there's nothing in this world that'll have me act like almost basically completely ignore my daughter for 5 years. But like, as close as he was to Nagisa, and to lose her because of the daughter that he thought about not having in the first place because of this situation, like, you kind of feel for him in a situation too. But like, it was all so hard because you don't want to have sympathy for that because it's your daughter. You must love your daughter. But you can't like be mad at him for not being there for his daughter. I don't know, man. It's a tight spot.
One of the things I always say is that, like, as I always say, like I'm not like a Christian or anything like that, but you know how like in Christianity they say your spouse comes before your children, and like I don't want to like think like, hey, my kids don't come first, but like I love my wife so much that like if anything, like I would put her first on every scenario. Like if it came to her being hurt, obviously if my children are like in a scenario where like I can save them, my wife is capable of taking care of herself, I'm gonna take care of my children first, you know, kind of deal.
Right.
But like my wife is always the first thing that comes to my mind, because when I think of her, I think she's got the kids, right? She's gonna take care of them. I need to make sure she's okay. And this series honestly just hit me entirely too fucking hard. Like it fucked my life.
Yeah, exactly, man. It was again. Imagine this being the first anime, because you watched anime before that caused you to have these feelings, right? Like you had some feelings for some anime before, but but
not like this. Yeah. Like this is a whole different kind of feel.
Yeah, like yes, but back then, man, I had no reference point. I had no idea these feelings were even possible in anime, because again, all I watched was Dragon Ball Z, Full Metal Alchemist, Avatar, even though that's American made, but still, like, it's those anime were like, I wanted to see shit go down. I wanted to see the fights. Even hey, shout out to Gov Pancakes, aka Alan, for mentioning Shaman King, because I was even watching that shit and enjoying it. Like all these shows that I just watched, like the fighting and that's all I knew. That's all I knew was the action-based anime. And then this popped up and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. I'm going to give it a chance. I gave it a chance and it broke me. It completely changed my whole viewing of anime. How I watch characters develop. Like, I never seen anything like development like in Clannad. Like, the way these people grew.
Nah, bro, I'm gonna need you to stop giving anime a chance. I'm gonna need you to never do that shit again.
Never do that shit again, bro.
Never again.
That shit broke me, man. All right, let's get into the...
That was harsh. That was harsh, bro. Like...
Oh, God, that's so funny, man.
And like, for real, the ending to me was like... okay, but like... Bruh.
Yeah.
All right, Polo. So our first segment of our rating scale is pacing. Polo, what do you think about the pacing for this show?
So after rewatching it, this pacing, God, it's gonna be so hard for me to be objective here, but the pacing was good, man. It was good. When I first watched it back then, I felt like it was boring. I was wrong after rewatching it. I was wrong. I enjoyed it from the moment it started. And I say that because, like, I came into this one knowing that we were going to review it. So I came into it with a clear head and I just focused on how each episode went. The way the episodes flew, it flew well. It flew, like, the structure was well done. Now, if I was watching it week to week, I probably would think different. But I mean, this show came out in 2008, so I can't go off of that. I gotta go off. I binged it, so I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to go with a 9.5 with the pacing. The only reason why I go with a 9.5 is because there were some situations in here that, like Tell said, that you didn't quite need, but then I still feel like they were integral to the story. I don't know, man. I'm a 9.5 guy. I'm a 9.5 it.
So, I feel you on that, and I'm glad you agree with me on the whole idea that there were parts that you didn't really need.
Yeah.
Like I said, for the beginning, I think the first 24 episodes, the pacing was almost perfect in my opinion.
Yeah.
There was only slight parts in Afterstory I didn't like for pacing. So I'm also agreeing that it's a 9.5 on pacing, because.
Remember, Afterstory was only...
there's just things I didn't necessarily want in Afterstory, but none of it felt like really out of place, like even when it started off with like the baseball game and stuff like that, it was like, it felt like it was still giving us happy moments and stuff like that into like, hey, I'm gonna fuck you over later. So, but
that baseball episode, this was before they was doing this like frequently back then. Think of that baseball episode. If you just think from a mindset of that episode was episode 0. Because remember, it's coming from the point of a completely new season. So it's introducing the characters one by one by doing this whole baseball thing, like this baseball arc. You know what I'm saying? You got to know every character in the show that they gave backstory to in the show. Because I'll save it for when we get to the next category.
I'm just gonna let you know I already got my scores down, so no matter what you say, my scores will always be the same.
Oh, that's dope. That's a good idea.
I just want to make sure you know that. I don't know what your scores are.
They come
you want me to lead with my next score?
Yes, sir.
So the next score is for story. I'm just gonna be upfront. I think Clannad's story is a 10.
Straight up. Straight up.
There's just from the original Clannad Volume 1 and 2, all the way up to Afterstory. The story itself is a 10. Mm-hmm. Like I started to understand that each moment, like where things were changing, there's usually like different doors opening for our main character to kind of see like where his history or where his reality might have led if he had gone this way.
Yes.
And
oh god, yes. I'm
super slotty that Nagisa couldn't be here for it.
Well,
but she could be here for it, but he couldn't be with Nagisa. You know?
Okay, so all right. You watched all 22 episodes, right?
24, 25.
It's so plus the OVAs, then it's 22 in the base show, and then like 3 more OVAs. So the end is basically a happy ending. It's a happy ending. It's a happy ending. They brought in these supernatural elements throughout the entire show.
Yeah.
From episode 1, dude. From episode 1.
Fantasy world.
The fantasy world, dog. That shit carried throughout the entire show. That fantasy. It was what's the word I'm looking for? Metaphor for exactly what happened at the end. If you are a good person, if our main character, if you are a good person and you have the heart of purity, basically, you can have any wish granted. Any wish granted. He became that person when he forgave his father, when he said to his father, listen, I love you and I thank you for everything that you've done for me. Yeah. Even though it wasn't the happiest life, you tried your best. Because of that, he was able to then have his wish. Right when the little one died, he had his wish of being back with Nagisa and his little one. And that ending, like that's what made me cry the hardest. Besides, like when Nagisa died, and then when it all ended and it basically replayed the life of and them being together, that made me cry the hardest.
That part to me was like I just was happy that they were back, you know?
Dude.
Like that's how I felt about that. It wasn't necessarily that part didn't make me sad. I was just happy. You know, like you might cry happy tears.
Yeah,
I didn't actually cry for that. I was just like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I was hyped. But I felt like they had already fucked my soul so much that I was like,
no, I'm with you.
They about to take them back. They about to Episode 23, they gone. That's just
because you thought it was like maybe a dream or something.
That gave me trust issues.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's funny as fuck.
They gave me trust issues, bro. I was like,
oh my god, that's funny.
I was like, this ain't it.
They about to take it back. They about to take it all back.
For real, that's how I felt, bro.
Oh, I feel you. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So, I'm assuming you agree with the story being a 10.
100%. Without a doubt. Like, I mean, again, from the subliminal storytelling they did with the parallel worlds and the little hints they dropped of the parallel worlds, or the little hints they told of that what
Konomi and her family knowing about the parallel world.
Yeah. They also dropped hints of the whole, if you have a good heart thing, you get whatever wish you want.
What's this dude, the blonde haired dude?
Yes, they always drop these little snippets that you didn't pay no attention to because the rest of the story was so potent. You know what I'm saying? It was so in your face that you forgot that they even mentioned these things subliminally throughout the entire series from season 1.
Yo, that part was fucking sad too.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
I hate this show. Why did you make me watch this? Now I'm gonna have this in my mind whenever I'm watching it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm so fucking harsh when it comes to these anime, man. There's if this character development, i.e., is that the next category?
Next category is animation. But if you want to talk about characters,
let's go to characters because it's a perfect segue. No fucking anime does storytelling with his characters the way Clannad does it, because everybody got their shine, bro. Every side character from how many side characters? Like 7 side characters. They got their shine, maybe except for our best friend. Our best friend didn't get as much side character, but they even gave it to like the lady that owned the dorms.
What you mean?
The blonde hair dude, they didn't give him much side story.
He got a ton of side story.
Did he?
He got a whole
his sister. His sister. I'm tripping. See that?
What are you talking about? Boy, let me karate chop you in the head. What are you talking about?
No, you're right as fuck. Because that was
he didn't get no side story.
Because they were like him and his best friend was beefing because of that.
Yes. Because they thought that he was dating her and he was just playing because he wanted him to like react and he didn't react.
Tell me these characters.
Come on, bro.
Tell me these characters. Man.
Well, I rated this a 10.
Same. Tell me these characters wasn't a 10 from everybody having their backstory, especially our girl. Oh, what's her name with the violin?
Kotomi.
Especially Kotomi, man. That shit was dark and sad too.
Kotomi was my favorite. She was my favorite. I mean, Nagisa is a close second. Yes. But for real, like if I had to say in terms of who I wanted him to be with, I wanted him to be Kotomi. I didn't want him to be with Nagisa because she brought me too much heartache.
Yeah. But she was so sweet though, dude. Nagisa was a good girl, man.
Nagisa broke my heart, and I can't. She was too much. Her family was amazing,
incredible, so accepting.
Too much. No. And then where the fuck did they go? They just left me. Just like, hey, yo, get your kid, bro. No, they didn't really do it like that.
It was genius. Absolutely,
it was. That's how they needed him to get like, hey, like you need to be with your daughter.
Yep.
But yeah. I liked Fuko and Kotomi more, but I didn't want him to be with Fuko, obviously.
No,
I just wanted Fuko to be okay. Fuko was like my favorite character in general, just because I just wanted Fuko to be okay. Like I felt so many things. Fuko's arc outside of Nagisa's and Afterstory was literally the best. Like let's be real. Like in terms of actual story, Nagisa's made everyone feel the most. Like Nagisa's story was like a punch in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Fuko was at first like, hey, this might be a real punch for you. It could be. It ain't gonna be a too hard. It ain't gonna be a super heavy punch, but this is gonna hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the one I was like, oh, this show is a show. This ain't a show. This is a show. This is a let me hit you with the hey, fuck you, little bro. We gonna watch this. That's what the show did to me. And
this a show, bucko.
Yeah, right. That's what I felt.
Dog, listen. The dorm mother's fucking story was so good with the cat and everything. Like when you figured out who the cat was and how that, I felt for her too. I'm like, damn, why do I feel like she could be a best girl? What is going on here?
I loved when he was like falling asleep and the cat kind of said, you can make any wish. And that's where they passed it off to him.
Yes.
That's how you know, like he passed it off to him. You have to be the person that passed it off. So he was like, I was able to make my wish come true because of I fulfilled this way.
Yes.
Right? Like I'll always be with you and I'll always love you. That was awesome. And you kind of got that feeling that she knew the cat was him.
Yes.
But I knew as soon as he popped up was like, yo, he died. Like, you know, like that's why he's here, because he died. Like, you know, like this show was already too sad for that not to have been a scenario.
Yeah. So what's great about that is, like you said, I don't know if you noticed, but the cat, when he's told that story, he passed it on to our main character. Like our main character from that point on, and she's like a side character. She wasn't like even just a side character. She was a side character. But that backstory that was given with her was the most important story throughout this entire series, because that cat, when he told our main character, what's his name again?
Economy.
Our main character.
Oh, the cat dude?
No, our main character. Toya, right?
Oh, Tomoyo.
Yeah. So Tomoyo, when that cat gave that story to Tomoyo in a dream, he basically passed. Yeah, it don't really matter. He passed that wish thing to him, and he was just holding it the entire time, didn't even realize it. Just wild, man. It's just wild, man. He just didn't have the heart for it. I'm done with this show. Characters.
Yeah, I'm never watching it again.
It's a 10.
Straight up.
Characters.
I knew you heard the character 10. Animation. What do you think about the animation, brother?
Man, dude, it would look good minus the eyes. The only thing, if you look past the eyes, Gov, watch it.
I said the same thing about the eyes.
I know you listening. If you could look past the eyes, man, every other animation beat was phenomenal. I'm going to go with a 9. But the same thing, when you said those eyes, those are the same thing that was going to stop me from watching at first. But then I'm like, you know what? I'll just keep going. That's what I kept saying to myself. The eyes are a little, but I'll keep going. But it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. For a show in 2008, too? Are you kidding me?
I think you might not like my rating.
No. Oh, yeah. Hey.
So, I didn't like the eyes.
Yeah.
At all. I thought that was the wonkiest bug eye shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I gave Clannad a 10 in animation.
Wow.
Because I thought the animation itself was amazing.
The animation was gorgeous.
The eyes didn't turn down the animation. Like the eyes were part of the style, right?
Yeah.
So like in my opinion, like that doesn't drop the animation in my opinion. Like the way the characters flowed, the way the background fit in with the entire show, and like even like when they were saving the trees and you see all the leaves and stuff in the background, the animation for the show itself was amazing. Yes, the eyes were trash, but that's more stylistic.
That's not animation.
Yeah, I don't think the animation was trash. I think how they animated with the eyes, like, that's like me saying, hey, my hero, I'm gonna draw his hands like this. If they draw the hands how the illustrator originally drew the hands, that's not really bad animation. What it is that's the stylistic choice, right? Yeah. So animation wise, I think Clannad actually they did a great job with the animation. The coloring, everything, how smooth it was, how it felt. I thought it was a 10.
Take me up, bro. Take me up.
Okay.
You sold me, bro. You must sell cell phones or something, man. I don't know what's going on.
I sell smart home, cell phones, appliances, computers, TVs. What you want?
I'm just an idiot, bro. I'm an idiot because you're absolutely right. Like the eyes are just stylistic, but the show was gorgeous. Like they even had like even in the parallel world, the world
CGI
was a completely different animation style. It was CGI and it was gorgeous, man.
Yeah, like, and I loved because the girl, she wasn't completely CGI, but like our robot was CGI, and like even his motions seemed like you couldn't tell if he was being moved or he was actually moving himself. And then you would see him like for instance when they got put on the teeter-totter thing, right?
Oh yeah,
he had put on teeter-totter. He didn't quite move it immediately because they moved his hands on it, and then he kind of like slowly moves his head, showing and he's narrating and like. I don't know, bro. It was. I thought the animation was smooth, perfect.
Yep.
The way they transitioned it was great.
It was gorgeous.
I didn't see any defects in the animation, in my opinion. Nothing made me say this is trash.
Like shit wasn't even not one scene was shit drawn cheaply.
Yeah.
Oh, the cherry blossoms, dude. The cherry blossoms was the background on my PC for a long time.
When it was so gorgeous. When he was fighting,
oh my god, yeah, dude!
The transitions on the camera and stuff when he was fighting, I was like, "Is this a fight anime? Is this a slice of life?"
That whole gang story, dude.
Yeah, we gang or what? Like, old girl had the even when she popped up, old girl had the scarf around her head. Yep. That shit looked like she was like tuxedo mask in the darkness, like she about to come up. I was like, hey, that's dope. Like, it looked good. And then she ran and, they're like, hey, what are you doing? It was good. I thought that was dope. So I gave it a 10.
Yeah.
So our final segment, Polo, you lead in this one. Sound design. Oh, no, actually, no. Okay, you gave sound design a 10?
100%. Dude, this fucking soundtrack, I listened to it in my car back when it first dropped. I listened to it in my car back then. Mm-hmm. That's how much I enjoyed the sound design. Everything, we played like a remix version of Roaring Tides a couple of episodes back. That shit's fire. Like the transition music or the sad music when that came on, oh my Oh, it you feel something every single time that music plays in this show. It's a 10. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Even the dubs is good, dude. Come on, man. All right.
I did listen to the dubs and I listened to the subs.
The dubs is good, man. It's so good.
I did all of Afterstory in dubs, by the way.
Yeah? What you think?
It was pretty good. I do think I would have liked it more in subs.
Man, I don't know, man.
In terms of sound design, I gave it a 9.
Okay.
But I don't think that there was anything like actually like wrong with the soundtrack. I just wanted something a little bit more, right? Because it felt like they were cycling like the same four songs or so. I
see what you're saying.
And it wasn't that was bad, but
they changed it up from it was like a violin at one point, it was a piano at one point, it was an acoustic guitar at one point, but it was essentially the same transition music.
Yeah, and in the moments of action, there was still never really like an action playlist or soundtrack. There's more like, hey, we're fighting, and we're still gonna play like the sad songs in the background. So I'm gonna give it a 9 on sound design. Not that it was bad. Like I said, obviously a 9 is really good.
I might have to send you the soundtrack.
Hey, we can do that.
I love it.
We can do that.
Shit's so good.
We can do that. But yeah, that is our official rating. Oh my God, this is gonna be a little crazy for long.
So while he tallying out those scores, I just want to say, if you haven't watched Clannad, what Slice of Life? I mean, like, if you don't watch Slice of Life, period, you have to watch Clannad. I mean, we just spoiled the whole entire fucking thing, so maybe not after you hear this, but the show is one of the GOATs, man. It's one of the GOATs. Oh, I love it. Hey, I'm gonna do this now. So, also, shout out to our friend Killswitch 815. Apparently, he's starting a podcast, an anime podcast as well.
Let's go.
Hey, let's go. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it's an anime podcast. It's called Otaku IRL. So you can follow him on Twitter at Otaku_IRL. Give him some love. He's a good dude. I'm definitely going to give it a listen.
We in there.
For sure. Man, Clannad, bro.
So.
Both me and Tell don't cry, by the way. We don't cry.
Nah, I fucking cried. Fuck this shit.
I cried. Like a motherfucker.
Hey, yo, I'm a little disappointed. So, but the show really hit like that. I'm a married man, so that really hit me hard.
Yeah.
We the official mic check. We, especially at that time, like, come on, at that age, bro, ain't no reason.
Ain't no reason.
So I know if you cried, I would have cried. The official mic check waifu rating for the show Clannad is a 9.
You gonna do individuals? Like, what was mine and what was yours? Or did you get rid of it?
No. All right, let's do that. We'll do the individuals.
Yeah.
We already know it's gonna be a high ass score anyway.
Yeah.
Polow, you rated it because you Polow, and this is your show.
It's your show too. Wait a minute.
Actually,
you're talking about Clannad. Yeah, Clannad's my show.
Funny enough,
I rated it lower.
You rated. Polow rates Clannad a 9.9.
Yes. Yep.
And that sounded about right for Polow.
That sounded about right. I love this fucking podcast, dude.
And I rated Clannad a 9.7, which means that Clannad goes up on Mic Check Waifu as the second highest ranked anime that we've watched, as a 9.8.
Let's go. I'm okay with that. Oh, I love this show so much. I love Clannad. I love Mic Check Waifu, the anime podcast. I just love this all.
Yeah, this is Clannad is just really good, and I'm so happy they got that rating. It deserves it.
Straight up. Damn.
Right. It's almost sad we gotta talk about something else.
I know. All right, so I guess we should transition with a segue over to My Hero. My Hero. So what was this episode?
21.
Okay, 21. Episode 21 of My Hero. We finally got to see full spoilers. This is the part of the podcast where we talk My Hero and we spoil everything about it, just like we did with Clannad. But this time we're spoiling the most recent episode of My Hero, and this is episode 21. So if you haven't watched it yet, just turn it off and come back next week. We love you. Yeah. So, damn, My Hero, bro. This episode was fire.
I'm actually surprised you think that.
I liked it a lot, man. We finally so the way they did the story in between the fight for this one was just a tad under perfect. Just still a little bit too long. Still gave us a little bit too much. It should have gave us more fighting between the two, but it was a tad under perfect because it was an explanation of stuff we haven't seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't seen all of it. We haven't seen, him learning all the dance moves from What's Her Face, or we haven't seen, exactly how to use the airwave or whatever the fuck 100% yet. Like, we haven't seen all of that. So those little snippets implanted into like him, like remembering exactly, you know what I'm saying? Him remembering exactly how he can utilize this to help destroy the gentleman, or how Eri felt about the fucking festival and how he is driven to stop Drip Senior. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was better, but it was still too much. It was still too much.
Drip Senior is the highlight of this episode. And he's been the highlight in the last two episodes, even though we haven't really seen him until this one, right? So Drip Senior shows up and he does his thing. Yep. He's like, yo, I'm here for a reason. And the thing is this is what I think about Drip Senior. He is not a villain in terms of like he's here to cause true problems. He, and I think, is more like on the level of Hero Killer Stain, where he has an opinion about how the society is working, and he wants to change that. He wants people to be good for good, right? Like, he's not really being villainous. Like we said this before. He was stopping companies that were doing things like polluting food and selling like food that was harmful to the community, like not as in like harmful as in was killing them, but harmful as in was like making them overweight or anything like that. He was doing things that were like, it would have been villainous to society in terms of like government wise, but not in terms of society wise. Yeah. And in my mind, is that really a villain, or is that like a vigilante? You know, like we know vigilantes aren't accepted.
Right, exactly. And that's why his name is so perfect for him. Gentle Criminal is the perfect name for this particular person, because that's exactly what he is. He's a gentle criminal. He's not intentionally trying to hurt people. Like when the beam was falling, he said, "No, I would have stopped it from hitting the guy. Like, I wouldn't have dared done that. But I know, with you being a UA student, your obligation is to save the people. But like, I gotta go. I got something I gotta do. I got a plan. I gotta move. I got moves to make. So let me go make these moves." But let me tell you my favorite part about this episode. My favorite part about this episode is when they met. When they met and everything came back to Deku. Like, his mind started rushing, like, wait a minute. Huh. I know this voice. I know this, like, that whole interaction between Drip Senior and Deku was probably one of the best of the, as strange as it sounds, of the season. Even though it was like, what, maybe 15 seconds? The battle in their minds that was going on was just amazing. And the way Deku turned into Deku, he turned into a hero right then and there. Like, I got to stop this guy. I know he plans to do something harmful, not necessarily harmful, but that's his mindset going into this. Yeah. You plan on doing something that's going to stop UA from having this grand old time everybody worked so hard for.
Exactly. Deku's action was to stop that, because he knows that if he goes into UA and sets off the alarm, essentially what's going to happen is the school's going to get shut down and Eri's going to be sad. So it's like, it's that continuation of trying to bring Eri in and make Eri happy as a character, right? Not
only that, but the hard work that all the other students are doing for this festival. Like, they busting their ass right now.
And then you also have the fact that it is the first time that Midoriya truly gets to act as a hero outside of like an actual hero training event, right? Yeah. Like, so they were at like the camp last time he fought someone 1v1, as an actual like hero without any other heroes around.
Yeah.
Last time, then they he fought Overhaul, but he had help there. He had stuff going on there that helped him. Mm-hmm. This is his first scenario, 1v1, where he has to make the proper calls by himself as a hero. Mm-hmm. And I think that was one of the most impactful parts, is that like this is Deku showing he can be a hero in both like physicality, like physically and mental, right. His mentality as well.
So what did you like about the episode? Because you don't seem as high on it as I do.
They're taking too much time.
They still taking too much time. Yeah, because it's 21. You're right.
Like, I get it, though. Because like I said, I know where it's going to end. I just know like how they're going to do certain things. And I feel like this means that corners are going to get cut in the future. But what I'm most hype about is seeing La Brava's quirk in action.
You already know it. I don't know what it is yet.
You got to guess? I'm not going to say nothing, but you got to guess.
Absolutely not. I have no fucking clue.
Right. I'm going to tell you what Connor said to me, what he thought it was. He said that he thought that they gave a hint at it. I'm just going to tell you he's completely wrong. He said they gave a hint at what her quirk was, and that as soon as she met Gentle, she said something about like, I hacked into the system and found you, and I came here because I love you and I'm your biggest fan. And I was like you missed the entire hint, and she's not a professional hacker.
Yeah, no, I don't. But I don't see the hacking being. Hacking was not where my mind was going to go.
Yeah,
at all.
Well, I'm excited to see her quirk in action, because that's what's going to change the entire dynamic of the next episode.
That I can't wait for. I'm actually looking forward to My Hero's next episode now. Finally, it's been a while since I was looking forward to it.
I think we'll be interested in the next episode, and then like the 2 after, not the 2 episodes, the next episode, and then. Will that be 22? Episode 23, I don't think I'm going to care about. And then episode 22 or 24 and 25, I think will be very important.
Okay, dope. I'm looking forward to, you know what, I can't wait. I can't wait till this shit is over so we can go to a show that both
Something
of us.
Else?
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, when did ReZero come?
Yes, exactly.
Actually, by the time that come around, let's look at this one time. The calendar. ReZero hit what? That's not going to be, we ain't going to be able to do ReZero yet.
Yeah, we can start.
Because when ReZero don't hit until
April.
But don't hit April 1st. Like Tower of God hit April 1st.
We're not ending.
So got
My Hero isn't ending April 1st though.
23, 24, 25. My Hero's final episode will be on the 30th.
Oh shit.
So that'll be on episode 43 of Mic Check Waifu.
Oh shit. Damn. Yeah, I guess so.
No, it'll end on the 6th. That's what it's going to end on. It's going to end on the 6th.
Okay, I'm about to say it because I felt too soon.
And so that'll be like episode 43 of Mic Check Waifu. And then we can probably go with like Tower of God. We can go with we can go with ReZero at that point. We'll be good. That's like a perfect segue right there.
That's what I'm saying. I think we got to do ReZero. Only for the simple fact is, like we said in the Afterstory, we both haven't read and we both love ReZero, our number 2 anime of all time. Holy shit. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, man. Straight up.
All right. So
let's recap, brother.
Yeah, let's do this recap. So as of episode 39 of Mic Check Waifu, we had this great talk about we're gonna go in backwards, obviously. We had the My Hero breakdown. Both Polow and I rated Mic Check Waifu's final rating of Clannad at a 9.8. We also talked about anime rivals like Ash and Gary, Mugen and Jin, and what was yours, Polow? Wait, number 1?
Oh, Initial D.
Yeah, the Initial D.
Kazakami and Kazuke.
Yeah. And then we also talked about how Polow predicted everything that's going to happen to idea. Polow is right. I can admit when I'm wrong.
That's predictable.
And then how Darwin's Game had the second hypest episode of the week, with Fate Grand Order having the number one hypest episode of the week.
I'm not surprised.
And we just talked about some of that anime in general. And, once again, thank you for checking out Mike Check Waifu. And this is episode 39.
This has been episode 39, and I've been at Polow Born Fly on all social media.
And I am King Teliano.
We want to thank our Patreon subscribers, Connor, Monique Williams, D Prince, Cryfu, David Persinger, and Robbie Balboa for supporting us. We love you. Thank you all so much. This has been episode 39. And as always, Mike check. Mike check. 1 2 1 2.
My sweet waifu.
Is that you?
One way or another.